Hey, how's it going with the news? Monday 14th of March 2022. Look from the papers as always. First up, New York Times, they're reporting that over the weekend Russia bombed a military base just 12 miles from Poland. Apparently the Russians said that the continued efforts to funnel weapons through that region to the Ukrainian forces would make the convoys legitimate targets. Well. Who would have thought that funneling lots of weapons into an active war zone would have unexpected repercussions and blowback? Not me. Wall Street Journal, there's a photo quite reminiscent of the days after 9/11. Daily News, harbouring mobsters. That's talking about longshoremen in New York harbours who make $400,000 a year. Good work if you can get it. And apparently most of them are linked to the mafia. I could have told you that because I've seen The Wire. New York Post, that's from yesterday. 2 women who were stabbed on the job in the Museum of Modern Art. 2 more victims of the culture war, I guess. Grandma from Cuba celebrating another great martyr of the Cuban Revolution, Jose Antonio Echeverria. In 1957, he helped to overrun the national radio station of Cuba when a lot of people were tuned in for a music program. He wanted to broadcast an anti-Batista speech. Batista, of course, the fascist dictator who was sponsored by the Yanks until Fidel sorted him out, and he estimated that they could only occupy the radio station for 3 minutes, so he prepared a speech that lasted exactly 3 minutes, and he finished his speech at the 181st second. He left the station unharmed, but then on his way to the university a few blocks away he opened fire and a police patrolman was killed during the shootout. Later on, a Vietnamese writer wrote a short story about his speech and commented, "The story about Manzana teaches me a great lesson about language arts. Even the greatest topics like reality or truth could be expressed only in 180 seconds on condition that the author has to use his life to pay for such invaluable time." Yes, definitely something we can get behind on this show. I think if we change that around to say that it can only be expressed in 280 characters on condition that the author has to use his life to pay for such invaluable time, that would sort out a lot of people on Twitter. Quote from Fidel down the bottom, Jose Antonio fulfilled what in his opinion was a sacred duty. Yes, thank you both for your service, rest in peace. South Africa corruption. Down here, Zimbabwe lobbyists want sanctions ended. Not something you hear a lot about, but Zimbabwe does suffer under massive sanctions from the US and the UK, much like Cuba, of course, and other countries. Jerusalem Post, Russia, Ukraine. Down here, Iran launches 12 missiles at US consulate in northwestern Iraq. Okay. Tehran Times, Israeli center hit with Iranian ballistic missiles. Okay, it's the same incident. Tehran says it was a Mossad center, that Mossad were using it as a base. Jerusalem says it was a US consulate. Curious. Probably a combination of both, wouldn't be surprising. Over here, Iran halts negotiations with Saudi Arabia. Okay, they were trying to patch it up, not happening now. In this article, it says that Saudi Arabia recently executed 81 men, the largest public execution since 1980. Totally crazy. Half of them were, of course, members of the Shia minority. Ukraine down there, war in Yemen escalating as always. The Hindu, there's Modi meeting with his defense ministers. Probably asking them why they accidentally fired a missile into Pakistan the other day. Whoopsie. Underneath that, India's relocated its embassy from the Ukraine to Poland. Smart move. The Australian, tax, true crime. Global Times, China, Paralympics finishing up COVID. Irish Examiner, rugby, horse racing, refugees from the Ukraine. Irish Times, Russia, Ukraine. Irish Sun, horse racing, celeb shite, Putin. Irish Daily Mail, horse racing, there's Hermione Granger out and about. Story there about helping refugees using COVID funding. Belfast Telegraph, war in the Ukraine. The Herald from Scotland. Celebs, Ukraine. Financial Times, Russia, Ukraine. Down here, Moscow's going to pay its debt in rubles. Okay, people not happy with that. Obviously, IMF didn't see it coming, so first default since 1988, potentially on the cards, obviously going to cause a massive ripple shockwave effect through the globalised world economy. The Times, war reaches NATO border. Daily Telegraph, there's Sherlock Holmes, says he'll take in a Ukrainian refugee. Good stuff. The Guardian, Russia, Ukraine. Independent 4 stories on top. Oligarchs, health, poverty, football. Putin down the bottom. Daily Mirror, horse racing, Putin. Daily Mail, health, Hermione Granger, Putin. Daily Express, William Hurt died, RIP made. Underneath that, Putin, the Metro, horse racing, refugees. Daily Star, Vlad's roid rage. What the hell? It's been reported here he might be pumped up on steroids, either because he has Parkinson's or because he has cancer, and that might be making him a bit mental. I don't know what to make of this. It says, world's elite spies, new claims. The guy who's the ex-head of MI6 came out and said that maybe Vlad's on the roids. I mean, I've seen him with his top off. He could very well be on the roids. Anyway, Julian Assange is still in jail in the maximum security Belmarsh prison without fair trial or due process. The Queen is still alive, but it was being reported over the weekend that they're kind of worried about her. She's had to pull out of some various dates where she was going to turn up in person, so could be reaching the end. Let's see. Here's hoping. Boris, of course, still the Prime Minister. Don't really hear a lot about him stepping down these days. And Prince Andrew still the Duke of York, even after he admitted to raping an underage girl trafficked with the pedophile billionaire financier Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself, or IP. If you want to stay off corporate state social media for the day, you know what to do. Click the link in the description. Alright, thanks. Good luck.